Very good morning to all of you and welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep, the most comprehensive preparation app for all exams. So as we all know, from Monday to Thursday, 11 a.m. in the morning, we come up with the Hindu analysis. Today is 14th March. And am I audible? Meri awaaz aa rahi hai? Morning to all of you. Okay. So today is 14th March, that is Thursday. And we'll be discussing these two very important articles. The first one says the Supreme Court to hear plea to include Chief Justice of India in Election Commission selection panel. So this is very important. We will be discussing it. Then here is an article talking about will publish details of poll bond in time, says Chief Election Commissioner. So these two articles we will be discussing it. So first start with this. Supreme Court to hear the plea, matlab वही petition has been filed to include Chief Justice of India on Election Commission selection panel. Now what exactly it is? So to understand this, we have to go back 1 year back. Okay, to see there was a judgment of Supreme Court in this regard. So we will discuss that. Then there's a parliamentary law. We will discuss that. And then we will come back to this article. Okay, so let's start with the first one. सबसे पहले हम लोग एक judgment discuss करते हैं. The last year the judgment came, it's called as Anup Barnwal case. Anup Barnwal case of 2023. So what happened was, in this judgment, actually what the Supreme Court said is quite interesting. So Supreme Court said that the chief election commissioners and the two election commissioners are generally appointed by the president, right? On the advice of, on the advice of Council of Ministers. So Council of Ministers means the Prime Minister and his ministers. So basically earlier this was the provision that Prime Minister plus his minister. So 1 year back there was a actually convention that President used to appoint the chief election commissioners and the two election commissioners on the advice of Council of Ministers, which included Prime Ministers and his ministers. Now, but in last year, the judgment, the Supreme Court passed a judgment in Anup Barnwal case, and the Supreme Court said something else. The Supreme Court said that the president would be appointing the chief election commissioner and the two election commissioner on the advice of not the Council of Ministers, but a selection panel, a select committee, which comprises of the Prime Minister, the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, and the Chief Justice of India. So this is what. So exactly this is the case in case of CBI director's appointment also. So same select committees for CBI director appointment also. Okay. So the Prime Minister, leader of opposition Lok Sabha, and the Chief Justice of India. So these three will actually they all three have one vote power. So they'll have the power to vote one each, and they will decide recommend the name, and the president will appoint it. Now what happened was, after that actually the parliament passed a law, okay, and the parliament said that the select committee will comprise of the Prime Minister, the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, and instead of CGI, actually it said Union Cabinet Minister, so Union Minister. Is it clear? So basically, I hope you are aware the Prime Minister and the Union Cabinet Minister are from the same government, okay, and the leader of opposition is generally from the opposition party. So this was actually challenged in the Supreme Court as well, okay, that if this will happen, then perhaps these two will actually appoint the election commissioner or chief election commissioner, favoring them or something like that. So that was the petition or the criticism and all. So let's see. तो why this is in the news? अभी क्यों news में? The selection panel वही select committee की जो बात करें, ठीक है? So the 3-member select committee. Okay. The reason is, see, I have told you a lot of times that the Election Commission of India is a 3-member body. I hope you are aware. So actually 1 or 2 months back this was the case. So he is the chief election commissioner, Mr. Rajiv Kumar. He was one election commissioner, Mr. Anup Chandra Pandey, and he's the another election commissioner. So it's a 3-member body, 1 chief election commissioner and 2 election commissioners is supposed to be there. Now what happened was Anup Chandra Pandey retired on 14th February this year only. So hardly 1 month back he got retired. And Arun Goyal actually, Mr. Arun Goyal, he decided actually to resign on 9th March. You can see. So now both this position are vacant and now he's alone. So Mr. Rajiv Kumar is alone in a 3-member body. There is only the chief election commissioner left, and the election commissioner, the 2 election commissioners are actually not present, or the seat is vacant, I would say. So we need to appoint it. So the appointment needs to be done. Now currently the appointment will be done by this law, the bill that has made by the parliament. So where actually the select committee or the selection panel will comprise of the prime minister, the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, and the cabinet minister, because the Supreme Court has not stayed this parliamentary bill. Okay, and that is why currently this is the case. However, the people have filed a petition. They are saying to hear the case urgently. So ये कुछ लोगों ने there's a if you read it carefully, so they are saying that please the people have filed a petition to urgently hear the matter, so that before the appointment of these 2 election commissioners, this hearing should be done and all. Because the petition said that there will be an unfair advantage to one political party and all. That is what the actually the petition has said. Okay, you got the concept? आप समझ गए? The petition has been filed by the NGO Association for Democratic Reforms. In fact, I hope you are aware of the electoral bond case. In that case also ADR filed the case. So ADR actually is I think an NGO which works for ensuring transparency in the election process. In fact, in the past also it has filed a lot of petitions in this regard and all. Okay, so that is what you should be knowing it. Okay, so the NGO has said that the Chief Justice of India should be brought back on the high profile selection panel and all. So that is what according to Anup Bandwal case. So that is what they have said, that the Prime Minister, the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, and instead of cabinet minister, there should be the CGI should be brought back, which was the judgment of the Supreme Court in Anup Bandwal case. This has to be followed and all. So that is what it is. Okay, Hannah. In Anup Bandwal case, last year, the bench headed by KM Joseph ordered that Chief Election Commission, the 2 election commissioners would be appointed by the high panel, by the president on the advice of a committee comprising Prime Minister, leader of opposition in Lok Sabha or the single largest party in Lok Sabha and the CGI. ठीक है, मतलब अगर leader of opposition नहीं है, so whatever is the single largest opposition party, that leader would be there, है ना? So that is what it is. Now, on the first page, there is an article, will publish details of poll. Yeah, I hope this one is very much clear, I guess. ये तो समझ में आ गया होगा ना. The next is will publish details of poll bonds in time. So poll bonds मतलब वही electoral bond. Now why it is in the news? Again, I hope you are aware of this. So ये we discussed it 2-3 days back, है ना? That the Supreme Court said that that the SBI had asked for the time till I think 30th June. They asked for the time that for revealing the electoral bond information, they need time till 30th June. However, the Supreme Court said you have to give all the details by 12th March. So SBI was supposed to give all the information to Election Commission of India by 12th March, है ना? And the Election Commission has been given time that by 15th March, 5 p.m. Before that, you have to upload it on your website. Upload on the website. Okay, that is what you should be knowing it. So इसी पर yesterday we had discussed it in editorial. Not yesterday, I would say 3-4 days back now. It's है ना, 3-4 दिन पहले की news है ना. We had discussed it, ना. So they were asking for 30th June that time, but the Supreme Court gave 12th March time and all. And so by the end of 5 p.m. 15th March, the Election Commission is supposed to put it on the website. Okay, so यही था, ठीक है. So let's see उसी पर Election Commission ने क्या? Chief Election Commissioner has said that yes, will publish detail of poll bond in time. मतलब जो Supreme Court ने time दिया है 15th March 5 p.m. So we'll try our best to ensure that it should be uploaded on time. Okay, yes. So let's move on further. Okay, if you're watching this class, there's a description box में जाओ, there's a one-on-one counseling session. Click on this link. You'll get this Google form, and everyone should fill this Google form. You'll get to know more about our courses. Now, the next one is nominations secure, Biden and Trump set for rematch. So I hope you are aware this year we'll be having an election, or what we call it as presidential election in USA. Presidential election in USA. Okay. So there are two very famous political parties. By and large, there are smaller parties also, but these two are main parties. Okay. So one is actually what we call it as Republican Party, है ना? And this is the symbol of Republican Party, है ना? This one, elephant. And the famous names are Donald Trump, है ना? Then you can say George Bush was earlier the president. He is also from the same party. Then Nikki Haley and Vivek Ramaswamy, they all are actually from Vivek Ramaswamy, Nikki Haley, they all are from Republican. And from Democrat Party, this is the symbol of Democrat Party. The famous names include like Joe Biden, the current president of USA. Then we have Barack Obama. Okay. And these are actually the famous names and all. Now, so this year, the election will be happening, and the two main contender would be, again, the Joe Biden, the current president of USA, versus Donald Trump. Okay. Because Joe Biden is the current president and he will fight the election again. I hope you are aware 2 times in USA, there is a provision that you can fight. You can be the president of USA for 2 terms, not more than that. So the Joe Biden from from the Democrat Party will fight it again. And as far as Republican candidate is concerned, there were internal elections that happened, and finally the Donald Trump would be the Republican candidate. Okay? So the Donald Trump would be fighting Joe Biden this year. Okay? So in the election, this is going to happen somewhere around October, November and all. So इसी पर ये article थी. So just have an idea about this. Okay, this is a question for you. Can you please tell me what is the date of independence, date of US independence? कोई बता सकता है? So I'm waiting for the answers. कौन से date को they have declared it the Independence Day of USA? So please tell me. I'm waiting for the answers. ठीक है. So if you're watching this class, 17th March को 11 AM in the morning, we'll be having a scholarship test. If you qualified, you will get up to 90% off. So CLAT 2025 के लिए we are having this paid batch, 380 plus hours of live session, 300 plus recorded videos, 55 plus mock test. If you have any query, call on this number. ठीक है? And this is a test series. Call on this number if you want to know more about this. Okay, let's move on to this article talking about India's research and development funding, breaking down the numbers. Now, देखो होता क्या है कि research and development, R&D मतलब research and development. So this is very important aspect. Why? अच्छा, किसी ने बताया नहीं कि US independence का डेट कब है? Yes, Ramesh, you are right. But to be perfect, it is 4th July 1776. So to be precise, the exact date is 4th July 1776 is the date of US independence. Now, so basically India's research development funding, breaking down the numbers. देखो आप पहले ही समझो what is research and development. For example, this actually is a slightly broader field. Research कराना बहुत जरूरी होता है because this will help actually grow. For example, I'll give you an example in agriculture sector. ठीक है? So in agriculture, there is a body called as ICAR, Indian Council of Agriculture Research. So they do research in the field of agriculture. And now research, why is agriculture research so important? The reason is, so when let's say the agriculture research is done, and let's say there is a seed, like जैसे HYV seed आया था, high yield variety seed. So if they do research and come up with an innovative seeds like high yield variety seed, the productivity will increase. Yes or no? In the agricultural sector. Pest resistant seeds are also developed. So a lot of different things. So उस पर research करना, agriculture research is very, very important and all. That is what you should be knowing about it. Breaking down the numbers. तो इसी पे then we have, let's say, defense में DRDO is there, Defense Research Development Organization, नाम ही है Defense Research. So this it means defense research. Okay, research in the field of defense is also very important. It comes up with the new innovative technologies, है ना? So let's say अभी recently launch हुआ था the MIRV technology, है ना? Use करके the rocket has been launched recently. We had discussed it. So the new technologies are being researched. So research and development में funding, any investment, the government needs to invest. That is what the author is actually talking about. Okay. So let's discuss. The author is saying the announcement in the interim budget. So in the recent interim budget, they have announced 1 lakh crore to bolster the research and innovation ecosystem. That 1 lakh crore would be given in the field of research and innovation for scientific and research communities and all. So he is giving, there was a slogan called as Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. This was given by Lal Bahadur Shastri, very famous. Then after that, Atal Bihari Vajpayee gave the concept of Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan and Jai Vigyan. Vigyan means science. And then Prime Minister Modi came to power. He gave the concept Jai Jawan, जय किसान, जय विज्ञान एंड जय अनुसंधान. अनुसंधान मतलब वही रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट कह सकते हो, R&D. विज्ञान मीन साइंस. ठीक है. So that is what the idea is. Jai Jawan means promoting the Jawan, है ना, army officers. Kisan means farmers, है ना, Vigyan science and research and development. So that is what the idea is, because the author is here talking about research and development, and that is why he is actually talking about it. Okay. So the significance of research and innovation cannot be overstated in fueling economic growth and all. So I hope you are aware. We have already said that research and development is very important in ensuring GDP growth and economic growth and all, creating employment, jobs and all. These are the things being talked about, है ना. अब देखो क्या बता रहे हैं कि कंपैरेटिवली इंडिया स्पेंड्स एज अ परसेंट ऑफ जीडीपी, इंडियाज एक्सपेंडिचर इज कंपैरेटिवली लेसर एज कंपेयर टू अदर कंट्रीज. जैसे उन्होंने कुछ एग्जांपल दिया. सो इफ यू सी इट, सो आवर वी ओनली स्पेंड 0.64% ऑफ जीडीपी इन रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट as far as India is concerned. Like, however, with research and development as a percent of GDP 0.64, India falls behind major developed and emerging economies. So China invests 2.4% of its GDP in research and development. Germany 3.1%, South Korea 4.8%, USA 3.5%. So if you talk about India, it is 0.64%, even less than 1%. Okay, so percentage of GDP, our expenditure is on a lesser side. But still, we can see that yes, still we have a good amount of academic talent. A lot of India generates almost 40,000 PhDs, and that is in the third place. So third number of PhDs we produce after US and China. So of course, these are the great numbers and all. So that is what the author is talking about. फिर उन्होंने एग्जाम्पल दिया इंडियन काउंसिल ऑफ एग्रीकल्चर रिसर्च, है ना, फिर एटॉमिक एनर्जी का रिसर्च इन एटॉमिक एनर्जी ना, DRDO का. एटॉमिक एनर्जी भी रिसर्च भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट होता है ना, बिकॉज एटॉमिक एनर्जी कैन बी यूज फॉर पॉजिटिव पर्पस, फॉर पीसफुल मीन्स ऑल्सो, है ना. पीसफुल मीन्स फॉर लेट्स से इलेक्ट्रिसिटी जनरेशन, है ना. देखो होता क्या, जैसे न्यूक्लियर टेक्नोलॉजी है, दिस इज कॉल्ड एज डुअल यूज टेक्नोलॉजी. It can be used for positive purpose also or negative purpose. It depends upon the person who is using. Negative मतलब जैसे atom bomb वगैरह बनाने के लिए. So this is for destruction purpose. The positive purpose is for making nuclear energy, and which is an alternate source of energy. It is helpful in let's say electricity generation, which is used for in households and all. तो उसका positive use भी किया जा सकता है. Depend करता है ना कैसे use किया जा रहा है. So if we are doing research and development in this field, in the field of positively using nuclear energy for making electricity, so this would of course is a good thing, है ना. So the research and development in this field is also required. So that is what the author is talking about, है ना. Okay, साइड में नीचे में एक आर्टिकल, द कर्नाटक सिविल इंजीनियर्स बिल इट्स पाथवे. देखो अब इसमें बहुत डिटेल नहीं जाना, बट जस्ट हैव एन आइडिया. ही इज टॉकिंग अबाउट अ बिल विच इज, देखो फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल इट इज अ स्टेट सेंट्रिक. इट इज टॉकिंग अबाउट अ पर्टिकुलर स्टेट. तो आई डोंट थिंक इतना डिटेल एग्जाम में पूछेंगे. But he's actually, since he has discussed it, let's discuss a little bit about that, है ना. So it mandates only certified civil engineers to offer engineering design. So जिसको government certify करेगी, only those can actually offer the engineering design, है ना. So that is what it is talking about. Now, so जैसे for example, the bill establishes 4 key things. First, it defines a civil engineer, lists engineering designs, imposes restriction on those who can offer engineering design. ठीक है. तो अब उन्होंने कहा है कि जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल द पर्सन इज सपोज, द सिविल इंजीनियर सपोज टू रजिस्टर इट विद कर्नाटक काउंसिल ऑफ प्रोफेशनल सिविल इंजीनियर्स विद 1 year फ्रॉम द डेट ऑफ कमेंसमेंट. सो दीज आर द थिंग्स दे टॉकिंग अबाउट, है ना. दे शुड ऑब्टेन अ सर्टिफिकेट टू बिकम अ प्रोफेशनल सिविल इंजीनियर इन कर्नाटका. तो क्या, तो अपना ये सब बता रहे हैं. देन ही इज एक्चुअली स्लाइटली क्रिटिकल ऑफ दिस. तो अब इतना डिटेल नहीं जाना. आई डोंट थिंक दे विल बी आस्किंग इट रिगार्डिंग अ पर्टिकुलर स्टेट. सो दैट इज व्हाई वी आर स्किपिंग दिस. ये वाले आर्टिकल साइड में इंपॉर्टेंट है. फ्रेश स्टांस इंडियाज फ्री ट्रेड पैक्ट विद 4 यूरोपियन यूनियन मैटर्स इवन इफ गेन्स आर लिमिटेड. देखो अब क्या है पहले समझो. ऑन 11th March वी डिस्कस दिस आर्टिकल एंड इट केम ऑन द फर्स्ट पेज. इंडिया साइंस फ्री ट्रेड अग्रीमेंट और फ्री ट्रेड पैक्ट विद 4 यूरोपियन कंट्रीज. सो विच आर दोस 4 कंट्रीज? आइसलैंड, लिechtenstein, नॉर्वे एंड स्विट्जरलैंड. ठीक है. Okay, so and there is a promise that they will be investing $100 billion in India, which will create almost around 1 million jobs, that is 10 lakh jobs. That is what the plan is. Okay, तो कहाँ पर है? So you can see it here. Here is Iceland. और कौन सा है? Norway. Here is Norway. ठीक है. So यहाँ पर आपको मिलेगा. देखो let me zoom it further. और zoom करते देखो ये स्विट्जरलैंड है और यहाँ पे लिechtenstein is there. ठीक है. So 1 2 एंड ये दोनों स्विट्जरलैंड, लिechtenstein यहाँ हो गया, नॉर्वे यहाँ हो गया, आइसलैंड यहाँ हो गया. So these 4 nations India has signed an agreement, है ना. फ्री ट्रेड अग्रीमेंट. दैट इज व्हाट वी हैड डिस्कस्ड इट यस्टरडे. और हम लोगों ने बताया भी था कि बिफोर दैट वी हैव साइंड एन अग्रीमेंट व्हाट वी कॉल इट एज सीपा, कंप्रिहेंसिव इकोनॉमिक पार्टनरशिप अग्रीमेंट विद यूएई, यूनाइटेड अरब एमिरेट्स, है ना. दिस वी हैव डिस्कस्ड इट एंड ऑल, है ना. यूएई के साथ वी हैव ऑलरेडी साइंड सिमिलर टाइप ऑफ अग्रीमेंट. सीपा इसको कहते हैं, कंप्रिहेंसिव इकोनॉमिक पार्टनरशिप agreement. Okay, and it was signed in February 2022 and came into force on May 2022. So these are the things we have discussed it, है ना. तो ये पास में ऑलरेडी वी हैव डिस्कस्ड इट. यूरोपियन यूनियन सेट फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम, है ना. तो ये 4 कंट्रीज के साथ, एंड दे हैव अग्रीड फॉर कमिटमेंट्स ऑन ह्यूमन राइट्स एंड सस्टेनेबल डेवलपमेंट आल्सो. So all these nations who are part of this free trade agreement has ensured that we should ensure protection of human rights and sustainable development and all. So these are the things being talked about. Plus a binding commitment to invest $100 billion that they all these countries are supposed to invest in India, and $100 billion. So when they invest in India, industries will be set up, and we hope that jobs will be created. Now, jobs creation both important है. Actually, it's a big challenge also because yes, we have a huge amount of youth. So job creation is very very important, है ना. Okay. So इसी के बारे में बात करें कि इंडियाज फ्री ट्रेड पैक्ट विद 4 यूरोपियन नेशंस मैटर इवन इफ गेन्स आर लिमिटेड. अगर बहुत कम ही, अगर थोड़ा सा भी फायदा होगा तो भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है ये, ठीक है. सो दैट इज व्हाट द ऑथर इज सेइंग, दैट इवन इफ आवर प्रॉफिट विल नॉट इंक्रीज मच बट स्टिल इट इज अ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट वाटरशेड मोमेंट एंड ऑल, है ना. सो दैट इज व्हाट दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट कि चारों नेशन से वी हैव डन अ ट्रेड एंड ऑल, है ना. So in market terms, in market access terms, the deal offers more room for Indian services firms with easier visa rules so that they can also tap the European markets using these. So we will get easy visa services. We can go there and do business and all. So ये सब बता रहे professions like architects, accountants, nurses can also expect more opportunities and all. Most good exports already get free trade duty free treatment. Duty free मतलब import taxes नहीं लगेगा. Import tax would be free. So when India's goods will go in Switzerland, they will not impose any tax. ठीक है. So why? Because it is important. जैसे अगर मान लीजिए इंडिया से कोई गया स्विट्जरलैंड, ठीक है, and let's say if Switzerland imposes tax, then the value, the product becomes costly, and the products becomes, the chances of being sold in the market of Switzerland becomes lesser. ठीक है. इसलिए import tax लगाने से competitive less competitive हो जाता है और बिकना, सेल होने की probability कम होती है, ठीक है. So that is why if there is duty free or free trade agreement, it is a good idea that India's product will be sold there as well, है ना. India's largest EFTA trade partner, so the linchpin, इसी को linchpin कहते थे, कोई मैंने इसीलिए फोटो में लगाया. This is called as linchpin. So if you remove the linchpin, the wheel will come out. चक्का बाहर निकल जाएगा, है ना. So वही बता रहे स्विट्जरलैंड के बारे में. They are saying that it is India's in this four countries the trade agreement have happened between these 4 countries, and the Switzerland is the most important one, है ना. And वही $100 billion का trade we have said that they have promised that they'll be investing for $100 billion in India to create over 1 million, or that is 10 lakh jobs, है ना, over 15 years, in the next 15 years and all. ठीक है. So ये सब बात हो रही है ना. So these are things. Indian consumer can expect cheaper wines, chocolates, while producer may access cheaper machinery. तो इंडिया में क्या फायदा होगा? So they will get cheaper wines. I hope you are aware that European countries are famous for wines and all. Chocolates will be cheaper. Will be able to import, है ना. And producers may get cheap machinery, है ना. So cheap machinery, जैसे हम लोग को लेथ मशीन या कोई ऐसी बड़ी मशीन बाई करना है from European Union countries and all, so we can easily buy it from these 4 nations at a cheaper rate, है ना. The tariff cuts, the taxes will be lesser and all, ठीक है. That's the idea about it, है ना. For India, the speed with which EFTA deal has been dusted off and sealed within the months resuming negotiations is creditable. तो ये praiseworthy है, तारीफ के लायक है. So the author is saying, the editorial writer is saying that it is credible that we have done with very fast speed. We have done an agreement, है ना. तो ये इतना फास्ट, को एक जिसको कहते हैं फास्ट ट्रैक डिप्लोमेसी एक कॉन्सेप्ट होता है. फास्ट ट्रैक डिप्लोमेसी मतलब कि अग्रीमेंट हो, यानी कि फास्ट डिप्लोमेसी, ना ट्रेड अग्रीमेंट डील बहुत तेज हो, तो उससे क्या होगा, जितना फास्ट डील होगा सो विल बी एबल टू डू बिजनेस मोर एफिशिएंटली, है ना, एज अर्ली एज पॉसिबल, है ना. सो दैट इज व्हाट. So this is the second major trade pact after UAE. जो UAE के साथ we have signed it in 2022, है ना. So that is what. फिर एक और था, एक ऑस्ट्रेलिया के साथ भी ECTA साइन किया गया था, और what we call it as Indus ICTA, इस तरह करके. So go and read about this also. Here the author is talking about ECTA, and CEPA we have signed it, Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement with UAE 2 years back. Okay, so these are the things being talked about. Parlays for a deal with Gulf Cooperation Council mooted since 2004 are yet to take off. अब देखो, here is India, ठीक है? This is called as Persian Gulf, ठीक है? So the countries around it are called as Gulf countries, and Gulf countries have formed their grouping called as GCC, Gulf Cooperation Council. देखो यहाँ पर है. So Saudi Arab, Kuwait, Bahrain, Qatar, UAE, Oman, they have formed what we call it as GCC, Gulf Cooperation Council. ठीक है? So that is what they're talking about. ठीक है? तो उसमें ये बता ये रहे हैं GCC में के बारे में that we are actually having a plan to have actually a free trade agreement type thing with GCC, but it is yet to take off. है ना? लिखा ना है कि yet to take off मतलब yet to start और yet to begin और yet to actually complete. ठीक है? अभी तक कंप्लीट नहीं हुआ है ना. डील विद कनाडा हैज बीन वेलेड बाय पॉलिटिकल फ्रिक्शंस, है ना. कनाडा के साथ भी डील होने था, बट नाउ आई होप यू आर अवेयर देयर हैव बीन इन रीसेंट मंथ्स वी हैव सीन सम फ्रिक्शंस विद कनाडा, है ना. सो दैट इज व्हाट दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट. ओके, EFT एक्सपेक्ट रेटिफाई बाय द एंड ऑफ. हाँ, अब इसको ना रेटिफाई भी करना होगा ना. सो ऑल द 4 नेशंस, है ना, दे हैव टू रेटिफाई इट in their parliament ki yes they have to approve it, and we hope that by the end of 2024 this would be approved, and also these are the things being talked about, है ना. और दूसरी बात है कि दिस इज फॉर द फर्स्ट टाइम इंडिया हैज अग्रीड टू इंक्लूड नॉन ट्रेड इश्यूज सच एज लेबर, ह्यूमन राइट्स, एनवायरमेंट एंड जेंडर आल्सो. ठीक है? सो इंडिया ने अग्री किया ये सब चीज को भी इंक्लूड करना कि लेबर रिफॉर्म्स, है ना, ह्यूमन राइट्स शुड बी प्रोटेक्टेड, एनवायरमेंट वी शुड इंश्योर दैट डेवलपमेंट शुड बी डन व्हाइल प्रोटेक्टिंग द एनवायरमेंट, एंड वी शुड इंश्योर जेंडर इंक्लूसिविटी, है ना, दैट यस देयर शुड नॉट बी एनी डिस्क्रिमिनेशन बिटवीन मेल एंड फीमेल एंड ऑल. सो दैट इज व्हाट दीज आर द थिंग्स बीइंग डिस्कस्ड. ठीक है? फिर ओपिनियन पेज में आर्टिकल हायर एंगेजमेंट बेटर लर्निंग. नाउ अब देखो, देयर इज अ क्वेश्चन फॉर यू. एसर रिपोर्ट इज रिलीज्ड बाय एजुकेशन मिनिस्ट्री, नीति आयोग, होम मिनिस्ट्री, एनजीओ प्रथम. प्लीज टेल मी. आई एम वेटिंग फॉर योर आंसर्स. एसर रिपोर्ट इज रिलीज्ड बाय एजुकेशन मिनिस्ट्री, नीति आयोग, होम मिनिस्ट्री, एनजीओ प्रथम. Right answer is option D. NGO Pratham is the right answer to this question, है ना. Annual status education report more than it है ना. So अब देखो ये भी रिपोर्ट NGO एक प्रथम है. Yes प्रिया चवन, you are right. It comes up with a report. तो इसी के बारे में ऑथर ने डिस्कस किया. जैसे उन्होंने कहा कि ऐसा रिपोर्ट said that 86.8% individuals in 14 to 18 years of group are enrolled in education institution, but only 1/4 of them cannot read a class 2 level text fluently in their regional language. ठीक है? तो 14 से 18 साल के ऐसे बच्चे भी हैं. हाँ, तो 86.8% बच्चे जो है वो इनरोल्ड है स्कूल में, लेकिन प्रॉब्लम क्या है कि 25% ऑफ देम जो है इवन क्लास 2 का भी टेक्स्ट पढ़ नहीं पाते हैं प्रॉपरली. ठीक है? विच इज ऑफ कोर्स अ सीरियस इशू. तो क्लास 2 में जो बच्चा होता है वो जनरली कितना होता है, 14 ईयर से तो कम ही का एज का होगा, है ना. 9-10 साल का बच्चा जनरली होता है. तो 14 to 18 ईयर्स में कोई चाइल्ड है, सो वी एक्सपेक्ट दैट ही मस्ट हैव पास क्लास 2, है ना. क्लास 2 से तो ऊपर ही होना चाहिए अगर कोई 14 से 18 साल का बच्चा है ना. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 में होना चाहिए. सो दिस इज व्हाट दे हैव हाईलाइटेड इट. इसको कहते हैं कि देखो एफिशिएंसी आउटकम डिबेट, है ना. आउटकम इंपॉर्टेंट होता है, सिर्फ क्लास पास करना इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं होता. एक बच्चा क्लास 2 से 3 में चला गया, 3 से 4 में, 5 से 7, 8 पास करते गया. अब कैसे पास कर रहा है, दैट इज एन इशू. वेदर द स्टूडेंट हैज लर्नड इट और नॉट, और इज जस्ट पासिंग बाय रोड लर्निंग और बाय सम अदर मींस. ठीक है? तो उसका ना आउटकम हो रहा है कि नहीं प्रॉपर, दैट इज आल्सो द आइडिया ना. सो दैट इज व्हाट लर्निंग डेफिसिट इसको कहना है ना. इंडिया हैज बीन स्ट्रगलिंग विद अ लर्निंग डेफिसिट फॉर इयर्स नाउ, है ना. सो प्रथम का जो सर्वे है दैट इज व्हाट दे आर टॉकिंग अबाउट, है ना. जैसे बहुत सारी चीजें ऑथर इज टॉकिंग अबाउट. देखो ये चीज होता है व्हेन स्टूडेंट्स डोंट शो अप, टीचर्स लूज देयर मोटिवेशन एंड डू लिटिल टू इंक्रीज द लेवल ऑफ एंगेजमेंट विद लर्नर्स. इट्स अ चिकन एंड एग सिचुएशन. जैसे कहा जाता है कि समटाइम्स पीपल आस्क कि व्हिच थिंग फर्स्ट केम, चिकन और एग. अब देखो ये बहुत डिबेटेबल है. समटाइम्स पीपल डिबेट हु केम फर्स्ट, चिकन और एग. एग से चिकन बनता है, चिकन से एग, है ना. सो हु केम फर्स्ट, इट्स डिफिकल्ट. सेम फैशन दे आर सेइंग जैसे टीचर्स एंड स्टूडेंट, as teachers and student. So let's take an example of a government school. So both blame actually each others. जैसे student बोलता है कि हम स्कूल नहीं अटेंड करेंगे, I will not attend the school because teacher do not come. And teachers say कि since the student do not come, I don't teach. ठीक है? So teacher do not have the motivation because there are very less student. Let's say 100 people are enrolled, so only 5 or 10 are coming. So the teachers say that we do not have motivation to teach hard. And when the students say कि sir teachers are not coming, not all the teachers are coming. So that is an issue. ठीक है? So what we call it as it's becoming a vicious cycle है ना. तो these are the things. लेकिन आपको एक दो चीज पता होनी चाहिए. If let's say there is a teacher, let's say there's a government teacher, and this person is getting a full-fledged salary, then it is the responsibility of the teacher to come to the school, sit in the class, and teach even if there is one child. मान लो कि let's say there is 100 child has got admission, but only 5 is coming in the government school. Still, it is the responsibility of the teacher to teach honestly those 5 children. Why? Because the teacher is getting the salary. So जब उसको salary मिल रहा है, 100 बच्चे में अगर 1 या 2 बच्चा आ रहा है तो भी उसको पढ़ाना है उसको. That is what originally the idea is, है ना. इससे होगा क्या कि when all the teachers will come on time, they will teach honestly. So today maybe there will be 5 child, and these 5 child will tell the other child कि देखो teacher is coming and he is teaching honestly. So the others will come, and over a period of time the children will start coming. ठीक है. तो ये समझना है. I think the onus lies more on teacher to come on time and teach honestly. Then over a period of time the students will come. ठीक है. So that is what it is. If they are getting proper salary and all, है ना. So students learn where there is motivation to do so, and that happens when classroom are meaningful and psychologically safe space. Yes. So student तब learn करेंगे ना जब उनके पास ऐसा माहौल हो, classroom हो, है ना. Meaningful and psychologically safe space. Psychologically safe क्यों? Because sometimes there are some places where in fact mental harassment happen in the schools and all. I hope you are aware. Sometimes teachers beat, or let's say especially there is issues with girl child. Sometimes girl child is not able to go to the school because there are they do not feel safe, or maybe the school is located at those places where actually it's difficult to go because of safety issues and all. The teacher writes question often even the answers on the blackboard. तो ये सब बता रहे हैं. So these are the problems the common students face, है ना. बहुत बार क्या होता है, स्टूडेंट जो है सिर्फ कॉपी कर लेते हैं बोर्ड से, उसको समझ में नहीं आ रहा तो भी they just copy it. The teacher has taught, copy it, don't learn it and write it in the answer. दूसरी बात होता है कि टीचर्स ओनली डिस्कस विद those who are sitting at the front bench, not at the back. तो ये सब भी होता है. So these are the things, है ना. तो इसी पर वो the author is talking about. Now this is the important thing the author is talking about, that yes, the classroom should be a learning opportunities for everyone irrespective of gender, caste, religion, special needs or disability. Now, especially like for example, it is difficult for a girl child to get education in schools as compared to boys. So we have to ensure a safe environment. Second, if a person is actually from the lower caste, sometimes they face discrimination, or from a marginalized community, or if a person is physically disabled, if a child is physically disabled, it becomes difficult for that child to study. Why? Because sometimes the classmates make fun of them or something like that. They may not be able to get access to all the benefits and all. So these are the things. So education जब learning हो तो ये सब का ensure किया जाए. Inclusivity should be ensured, that a person from a weaker section, a weaker gender, or a physically weak, or from a lower caste should also be able to study fearlessly. You know, that is what the author is talking about. Russian dominance in India's arms import declines. ये सीपरी की रिपोर्ट हम लोगों ने कल डिस्कस की थी ना. इंडिया has become the top arms importer, है ना, released by Stockholm International Peace Research Institute. सीपरी की रिपोर्ट, है ना. So here we had discussed it, and this is released by Stockholm CPRI, which is based in Stockholm, Sweden. तो हम लोगों ने इसको डिस्कस किया था कि still Russia is the largest exporter of arms to India, that is 36%, है ना. लेकिन रियलिटी ये है कि between 2009 and 13 we used to import 76% of our imports was from Russia, but now it has decreased to actually 36%. अब जो सिर्फ 36% ही बचा है. Earlier we used to import था 76%, है ना. So 2009 से 13 के बीच India used to import 76% of the total arms from Russia. लेकिन 2019 से 23 के बीच we import only 36% of our arms from Russia. It means we have diversified it. We are buying it from other places. Like France, earlier we used to buy only 0.9%, and now we are buying actually up to 33%. ठीक है. So similarly from USA we used to buy 8%, now we are buying 13%. So you can say that still we are the largest importer. We are buying the most from Russia, but overall the percentage has declined, है ना. तो इसी की बात हो रही है ना. That is what is being talked about. फिर टेक्स्ट एंड कॉन्टेक्स्ट में आर्टिकल था ऑन जजेस एंड ब्यूरोक्रेट्स ज्वाइनिंग पॉलिटिक्स. अब तो कैसे बहुत सारे डिबेट्स हैं. That like recently a Calcutta High Court judge he resigned 3-4 months before his retirement, and he joined a political party. ठीक है. तो इस समय अब डिबेट होता है कि क्या ब्यूरोक्रेट्स एंड ऑफिसर्स को, बिकॉज ब्यूरोक्रेट्स एंड जजेस आर सपोज टू बी न्यूट्रल, स्पेशली जजेस, दे आर सपोज टू बी न्यूट्रल. सो व्हेन दे रिटायर एंड ज्वाइन अ पॉलिटिक्स, द पीपल क्वेश्चन देयर न्यूट्रलिटी एंड ऑल. तो उसमें फिर कॉन्सेप्ट दिया था कूलिंग ऑफ पीरियड का, है ना. that let's say there has to be a cooling off period of 2 years, that after the judge retires, at least for the next 2 years, the judge should not take any post. And I like that. So these are the things being talked about. फिर एक और आर्टिकल है, कैनेडियन प्रोब इनटू निज्जर केस इज नॉट ओवर सेज न्यूजीलैंड डेप्यूटी प्राइम मिनिस्टर. तो एक्चुअली क्या हुआ था, आई होप यू आर अवेयर, द हरदीप सिंह निज्जर actually was a Sikh separatist leader, and he was killed on 18 June 2023 in Canada. And Canada put allegation that India was behind it. Justin Trudeau made allegation last year. It became the India-Canada relations, the diplomatic relations last year got declined and all. Okay, and after that actually things were there in the news. So इसी पर भी New Zealand deputy prime minister actually he was in India, and he said that the Nijjar killing case is not over yet. Now you'll be thinking, sir, why is New Zealand commenting on Canada matter, India Canada matter? The reason is 5 eyes. ठीक है, एक alliance होता है 5 eyes का. Okay, and these are actually the 5 countries. Okay, US, Canada, here is UK, Australia and New Zealand. So these are 5 nations. They share information, intelligence information with each other. Okay, and that is why, because of which actually the New Zealand has commented on India Canada matter. Okay, that it is the investigation is yet to be over. So the trial complete नहीं हुआ है ना. So once the trial will be complete, the court will pass an order, then only we will comment on that, है ना. So that is what he has said. Uttarakhand bill on uniform civil code gets president nod. So I hope you are aware, the civil code is actually a concurrent list matter. And in concurrent list, if a state makes laws repugnant with the center laws, then it needs permission from the president. Article 254 clause 2 पढ़िएगा जाके इसको, ठीक है. And that is why the matter, when the Uttarakhand Legislative Assembly passed the bill, it went to the president, and now the president has signed it. Okay, we have discussed it in the past also regarding these things and all. Okay, please answer in the comment section, in which article UCC is mentioned in DPSP. In Directive Principle of State Policy, at one place Uniform Civil Code is mentioned. Please answer in the comment section where it is mentioned. Okay. So this is all about today's class. Download our app, go to CLAT section. There is a talk to our counselor button. Click on it. You will get to know more about our courses. They will help you find out. So these are the free sessions, upcoming free sessions. So please subscribe to our channel, follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Telegram, and download the BYJU'S Exam Prep app. Thank you everyone. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day.